Hi everyone, welcome to the Learn Design Pattern series. My name is Sukesh Marla and today we are going to cover one of the pattern from the behavioral category of the design pattern. Let's look at the agenda. We will start with the dictionary meaning of word strategy and try to understand how in real life scenarios this pattern is implemented. We will go through a definition made by Gang of Four about this pattern and try to understand the same. We will go through a practical software development scenario and try to understand where exactly this pattern is useful. Then finally we will make a code walkthrough and try to understand how this pattern will be implemented programmatically. Now let's understand what is the dictionary meaning of word strategy. Strategy is a plan of action which we use in our real life to achieve a specific goal. For instance, I use this strategy to reach office. I start the bike and reach the office. It's that simple. We call it as strategy 1. But nowadays petrol is very expensive. So how to tackle a situation when I run out of money? The only solution left is use the train strategy. We call it as strategy 2. But story doesn't end here. What to do when train services are down? That's how solution 3 or strategy 3, or we can say bus strategy, comes into the picture. And this is what strategy pattern is. We have set of strategies defined with us, each of which can be replaced with another any moment of time. Initially I was using bike strategy, and when I found it has very expensive, I replaced it with train strategy, and so on. Now let's talk in terms of programming. And let's try to understand what is the practical definition or what is the definition given for strategy pattern by Gang of Four. Gang of Four says strategy pattern defines a family of algorithms, each of which can be easily interchanged with each other at any time. Now let's talk about the shopping mall application, which accepts the customer detail, calculates the bill based on the items purchased, and finally applies a discount depending on the day of the week. For instance, on Monday 10% discounts is applied, whereas on Thursdays 50% discounts will be applied. Now let's start creating application, and the very first step will be creating shopping mall class, which will encapsulate three things. First, customer detail. Second, calculate bill method, which will calculate the bill based on the items purchased, and a get final bill method, which will return the bill after applying discounts. Now the point which need to be considered here is, where does this discount logic resides? It will reside inside the shopping mall class, or it will reside outside the shopping mall class, we can say in some other class, and shopping mall will just contain a reference to the method. Let's for instance consider it will reside inside the shopping mall class. Now this approach violates open close principle, because whenever a new discounting strategy or discounting logic is introduced, there will be a change in the shopping mall class, because discounting logic is encapsulated inside shopping mall itself, and open close principle says software entities should be open for extension but closed for modification, which is completely violated here. Secondly, encapsulating discounting logic inside shopping mall class makes discounting logic non-reusable. That means it's not possible to reuse the same discounting logic for some other shopping malls. So after considering these 2 points, we may come to a conclusion that approach 1 is not a feasible solution. So just move discounting logic outside the shopping mall class and implement the strategy pattern. In strategy pattern, all three discounting logic will be implemented as 3 different algorithms, or we can say as 3 different classes, and shopping mall will just follow another object oriented principle, that is program to an interface, not to an implementation. And that's how we will implement strategy pattern. Now let's look into the source code, or let's make a code walkthrough and try to understand how programmatically strategy pattern will be implemented. Now let's look at the code and try to understand strategy pattern in a more deeper way. The first thing we need is iStrategy interface, which will act as base for all our strategies, or in short, which will act as base for all our discounting logics. We have defined the iStrategy interface with a method called as getFinalBill. Okay, that's cool. Now let's create algorithms. First we will create low discount strategy, which will implement the iStrategy interface and override the get final method and return the final bill or return the bill amount with a 10% discount. It's that simple. Now it's time to second algorithm or second discounting logic, high discount strategy, where we are just implementing the iStrategy, overriding the get final method and returning the bill amount after applying 50% discount. We need one more kind of discounting logic, that is no discount strategy. Here we are overriding the get final method and returning the bill amount as it is. Now it's time to use the strategies. For that we have shopping mall class, which will encapsulate customer details, bill amount, and it internally uses strategies for applying discounts. And we can see here that shopping mall class uses interface instead of concrete classes and follow the object oriented principle, that is programmed to an interface, not to an implementation. Now let's understand how we can use this shopping mall class. Now in our final client code, we will create an object of shopping mall class, passing it customer name, bill amount, and the strategy which we want to apply as parameters, and calculate the final bill. We can see here that we are passing the parameter or we are passing the discounting strategy at runtime, and we can change the strategy at any time. As we can see, if today is a Monday, we are passing low discount strategy. If it's to Thursday, we are passing high discount strategy, and if it's Sunday, then we are passing no discount strategy, and so that we get the normal bill. Let's run the application and try to look at the output. As you can see, on Monday we are getting 10% discount, so the final bill is 900. On Thursday we are getting 50% discount, so the final bill is 500. And on other days, on Sunday normally there is no discount, so we are getting 1000 as final bill. Now practically we will implement the logic as something like this. We will put a switch loop and first we will create an object of shopping mall class, passing it customer name, bill amount, and passing null as the strategy, as null as the discounting strategy. And depending on the day of the week, we will change the appropriate strategy and finally calculate the bill. Now this is all about strategy pattern. Hope all of you enjoyed and understood what is design pattern. If you have any queries, then you can write me and I will try to reply with the best possible way I can. Thanks.